You know what I get called a lot? A victim. And I'm not the only one. If you're a woman speaking about women's rights, if you're speaking about Palestinian rights, if you're a queer person or if you're a black woman just existing in the world, potentially you will have been accused of engaging in victimhood culture. It's a far-right trope, but have you ever wondered where it comes from? If I tell you it's California, will you believe me? Because it's California. Because you see, victimhood culture is a pseudo-scientific term. Like the concept of eugenics, victimhood culture was developed by academics. As usually with this crap, it came from the top down. But unlike Francis Galton, who's regrettably not in the land of the living anymore, the creators of the concept of victimhood culture are Bradley Campbell and Jason Manning. They established it through essays and books. Microaggression in Moral Cultures in 2014, which was an essay, and The Rise of Victimhood Culture, which was a book in 2018. Think about those dates. Are they familiar? I'll get back to that. These two cisgendered straight white men thought that they were absolutely unbiased in their analysis of society. So in a completely non-random way, they decided to divide societal attitudes into 3 periods. Honor culture, in which strength and retaliation against insults was prized. Dignity culture, in which people tolerated slights and trusted neutral authorities. To deal with serious harm, they think authorities are neutral. And then in a totally unbiased way, they contrasted it with what they consider to be happening nowadays. Victimhood culture, which is a culture in which people gain moral status and sympathy and most of all, power by publicly identifying themselves as victims of oppression. So if you're black or if you're Palestinian and you're explaining that your life is curtailed by the type of oppression that you received from external factors, you're not being dignified as your ancestors. You're just a victim wanting attention. The same thing for women, the same thing for LGBTQ plus people. Let's get back to the date in which these cisgendered white male academics, who we know are the epitome of unbiased social analysis, created this framework. 2014 was the kickoff of the BLM movement in the United States, and specifically of campus protests. So of course, these two completely unbiased people picked up all of the protests that were happening regarding gender, regarding race, regarding sexuality, and decided to frame it as if it was the collapse of civilization. This was picked up by the far right across the world and used since then as a cudgel to stop activism. You will not find a far right politician, historian, academic who hasn't tried to use this sentence as a conversation ender for any type of discussions that are linked to equity and inclusion. And most of all, historical justice. So to summarize, this sentence means nothing. Treat it as if it means nothing because it means nothing.